Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Dani, and today I'm gonna do the review for the book Incendiary by Zoraida Córdova, and also show you what came in the Owlcrate box of May and June. Incendiary was the book from the May box, and we're a little bit late because of all the COVID stuff, but I already received the June box, so I'm going to do this Owlcrate book and box in the way that I intended from the beginning, which is to review the May box and show you the June box, which has the book that I'm going to review in the next Owlcrate book and box. In this case, you're going to get an extra box because I haven't shown you the box that this book came in. So we're gonna get 2 boxes and 1 book. Let's start with the review, and if you're just interested in seeing the items from the boxes, I'm gonna put a timestamp in the screen so you can jump to that part. Incendiary is a YA fantasy book that tells the story of Renata. She is a Moria, which means she has magical powers, and all the people that has magical powers in this world are being hunted by the kingdom. When she was very young, she was taken to the kingdom to use her powers on the king's enemies, and she was treated as if she was a guest there, as if she was basically the king's justice daughter, and she believed that she didn't think that she was being held against her will there. But then the Whispers, which is the rebellion in this book, saved her, and now she's like 16, 17, and she understands now that what she was doing was wrong. And the whole plot of this book is that they want to overthrow the king, because he's very bad and he's killing everyone that has magical powers. And I gave this book 2.5 stars. This is not a bad book at all. It's just, it was very disappointing to me, and it was very not innovative, not unique. I don't know, I'm going to forget this book in a month for sure. It's not a memorable story. The characters, okay, let's start the review. I already wrote a review on Goodreads, so if you don't follow me there, you can check the link in the description of this video. You can add me as a friend, and you can check all my reviews before my videos. Not all of them, I don't post for all the books, but most of the books I have at least a tiny review there. But first of all, this book, I thought it was very, very inconsistent. There is a lot of times here that the character would say something and then 2 pages later it would be something else, and that was never addressed, and that happened a lot here. For example, right in the beginning of the book, she says that she has no memory of her parents, and 2 pages later, she was like, oh, I remember when my dad was doing this and that. I'm like, but you just said you had no memory, so what's going on here? And that happens throughout this whole book with small and big things, but I thought it was very, very inconsistent. The magical powers that the characters have here, they have 4 different powers, I think. They can steal memories, which is her power. They can read minds, they can create illusions, and they can influence people's emotions. So either soothe their emotions or riot their emotions, which are words from Mistborn, but that's exactly the power that these characters have on this book. Also, I had just read Final Empire, which is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy, right before I read this one. And like I said, this power is exactly the same as in Mistborn. And in this book, also they use metals or special stones to help their power, to conduct their power, which is very similar. As in Mistborn, there is a plot here where she goes to infiltrate the kingdom and has to like get used to being a noble lady. There's a lot of similarities, which is so weird that I read this right after, or maybe I just saw the similarities because I read it right after. And I'm not saying that infiltrating a kingdom and pretending to be noble is the most unique plot ever. I'm just saying that it was right after I read Mistborn, so it impacted me because I love Mistborn. But let's talk about this one, because I'm going to do a Mistborn review soon, and I'll talk about my feelings on that one there. But for this one, those are the magical powers that they have, and they are not very well explained at all. So she can steal memories from people, but it's very weird how that works for me, because if you're stealing a memory, it's not explained. Are you stealing the the feeling associated to that memory, or are you just stealing the thing that happened, so any feeling associated, you don't have it anymore? How does she find those memories? Is usually the person is thinking about that memory at the time, so she steals that memory at the exact time. But then what's the difference from the other power that reads people's minds? And also sometimes she would steal a memory and the person would kind of remember it after, or at least they would remember that she stole a memory. And if they remember that she stole a memory, they remembered that there was a memory, so they had some feeling associated. It's very complicated power, and I don't think it was explained here at all. At one point of this book, she steals a dream, but then at the other point, when she's going to steal a memory of someone who's sleeping, she steals an actual memory and not what the person is dreaming. So it's, again, inconsistent, and that annoyed me a lot. Another thing that annoyed me a lot here was the main character. Oh my god, she's so annoying. She complains about everything and she blames herself about everything. She thinks she's the center of the world, and apparently a lot of people agree with her. This whole cast of characters, she is part of a unit in the Whisper Rebellion. This tiny unit that she's part of, there's like 4 people in it. It's just one of the units in the whole revolution, but they are treated as the most important one, and they basically take over everything, and they're put in charge of everything, and they're teenagers. There's a lot of adults in this rebellion as well, and they're not doing anything important. There's a lot of people who have more experience than her, more training and fighting than her, but she's put in charge of everything, or she thinks she's in charge of everything. There are a lot of times here where people are given more importance than they should, just so the plot can move forward. There are some interesting characters that we find out more about, although there were a few times here that everything was so obvious, like the plot twist was so obvious, and she didn't realize it until like 200 pages later. But I thought we were told this at that point, but no, it was supposed to be a hint, but it was a very heavy-handed hint. So I already knew some of the plot twists because the book told me them beforehand. But still, some of my favorite characters, if you read this book, I love Leo, I love Lady Nuria, but they don't have enough page time here. I don't want to say any spoilers, but I just wish they had more time and more importance than they had. Some of the villains, especially one specific villain, is just a bad guy. He has no depth to him at all. He's also a very annoying person, but he's a very flat character. Okay, so I said a lot of bad things about it, but like I said, it's not a bad book. All of the things that I said are things that annoyed me, and they're not, well, some of them are important things in a story, but of course all reviews of any book is very subjective, and a lot of what bothered me here was because of the book that I read before it, so it's not this book's fault at all. But still, like, I really appreciated and enjoyed the idea of this magic system, but I don't think it was executed well. It wasn't explained well, and I like the idea of the plot, but it's just so common now. It's not unique, not innovative. I've read so many books that could be replaced by what happened in this one. This has like a Spanish Inquisition inspiration, but I was expecting so much more from that. We have some names that are in Spanish, or like some things that they use the Spanish name for it, but other than that, I felt that this could have happened in any magical setting that we know from any other book. So those are my thoughts on this book. I do recommend it if you like YA fantasy. If you're interested by any of the premise and any of the magical powers that I mentioned, I think you should definitely give it a shot, because I'm really an unpopular opinion. I read a lot of great reviews of this book. When I was about half in the book, I was not enjoying it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read a lot of good reviews of it to just get me pumped so I can finish it and now enjoy it. And a lot of the good reviews that I read were just saying that it's a great story but not unique, and that's exactly how I felt, but I guess I was more bothered by it than other people. But there are a lot of great reviews. Check on Goodreads the reviews of this book if you disagree with me and if you just want some positivity on this book before you go into it, because I don't think it's necessarily a bad book. It's just disappointing, very, very disappointing to me. Like I said, this was the book that came in the May box, and before we jump to the June box, I'm going to show you what came in the box with this book. And we're going to keep going on the disappointing theme here. The May Owlcrate box was called Rebels with a Cause, and I'm going to go through the spoiler card and show you all the items that came with the book. The first item is a wooden magnet created by Juniper and Ivy Designs, and it has a quote from the Bone season in it. I actually like this magnet a lot. This was my favorite item of the box, I think, and it's just very, very pretty. The next item was a stainless steel straw set with all these pretty colors, and it came in a very beautiful box inspired by An Ember in the Ashes, designed by Paperback Bones. And I don't tend to use straws a lot. I said that, and then I posted a photo on Instagram just this week of me using one of these straws, but still, it's not something that I use a lot, just in general. Not that I use plastic straws, I just don't use straws at all. But it's pretty, it's not necessarily useful to me, but I don't dislike it. I also thought it came with so many straws, like who is going to use all of it? The next item is inspired by Heart of Iron, and is this two pot holders. This was the one that I was most excited for when they hinted that this was coming, but I really didn't like this design. It's just not the type of design that I like. Like this type of design much more, and this is just too in your face and too, like, I don't like the combination of colors. I don't like the type of handwriting, but this is very useful. This is definitely going to be used, and I'm not going to be too sad when it gets ruined from food and heat and everything, and I have to throw it away. The next item was this sticker collection that has a lot of different inspirations. So the first, here is a quote from your Schusterman, then Mary Rutkowski, Caroline Caldwell, and Margaret Atwood. And I really like them. I wish the pot holder looked like the stickers, because this is so much more exciting, but I have no place to put stickers on. Like, it's a cool design, but not, like, I'm not gonna use it in a sticker. Then we have the pin that is inspired by the book. This is an almond stone, and in the book, these stones collect memory as well, and then the Moria, who has the power to steal memories, can retrieve the memory from the stone. And I think it's very, very pretty. It's one of the prettiest pins for sure. And the last item that came in the box was actually the best one, not the magnet, which was a graphic novel called Witchy by Ariel Slammet-Reese. And I read it last month already. I already reviewed it on my wrap-up, and I didn't love it. It was the best item. It's a full graphic novel. But this is the story of the witches whoever has the longest hair has the most power, but if your hair is too long, then you're an enemy to the kingdom. That's not explained very well. Then this girl, she disguises her hair to look shorter than it actually is, because she doesn't even have the power that you would expect from her long hair. So she disguises it, but then people find out and she runs away. And there's some really interesting characters here. There's a lot of subplots and just not enough time to explore everything. Not enough time to explore the characters or the subplots. And I was left very confusing at the end. And there's no place in the internet saying that there's going to be a sequel to this. And I just don't know what I read, because it didn't make sense on its own. It's a beautiful, let me show you. It's a beautiful drawing, like illustration style. I really like it. But I was left very confused and not satisfied at the end of this book. those were all the items that came in the May box. Like I said, not my favorite box, not my favorite book. We'll just move forward and talk about the June box. The theme of the June Owlcrate box was All the World's a Stage, and this is the spoiler card that came with it. And just to remember, this is how all of my reviews are going to work from now on. I'm going to review the book from the previous box and show you this month's box. So as soon as I receive July's box, I'm going to review the book that came here and show you July's box. It's going to make sense. So the first item that came in this box was inspired by the Night Circus, and it was a coin bank / pencil holder, because this actually comes off. Let me take it. This can be used as a pencil holder or a coin bank. Let's be honest, who uses coin banks anymore? I know a lot of people do. I just don't. I don't like coins at all in front of me. But I'm going to use this as a pencil holder, I think. So let's just leave this off already. And that one was designed by Forensics and Flowers. And the next item that came in the box was a shower steamer created by Whipped Up Wonderful. And it is inspired by Ace of Shades. And it smells like coffee and orange. It's actually very good. Like, I really like this smell. I've never used a shower steamer before, and I'm very curious to use it. I really wanted to use it right when I received it, but I wanted to film the video, so I was waiting for this. And then my favorite item, which I already used a lot, was a Bones coffee sample. It's not even just a sample, it's like there's a lot of coffee in here. And this one was inspired by just circus in general, and it's mini donuts flavor. And I really love it. I love Bones Coffee. I learned about Bones Coffee in an Owlcrate box last year, and I already bought so many different flavors of coffee and just like normal coffee from them, and also mugs. And I just love this company so much. I love their coffee, and I was so excited to receive more in Owlcrate, because the flavors that come in Owlcrate are exclusive. So this is my favorite item for sure, and it's already open because I already made coffee from it, and it's really, really good. And the next item, which apparently is inspired by The Greatest Showman, but I don't see it, it's a habit tracker. It says, what if we rewrite the stars? And it's pretty, it's useful. I said when I received the box, because I always do an unboxing on Instagram in Portuguese, and I said that I was going to try to use it and see if I can get used to a habit tracker. I still haven't used a single page of it. I like the idea. It's not something that I usually use. And also it would be nice if you had like a magnet or something to like put it somewhere. I don't know. Like I said, I don't use habit trackers too much, but it's pretty. It's like you can track, you can have notes and then put different habits and track which days of the week you're doing it. You can also put what you're currently reading, and you can see anything. There you go. And also, I was hoping when they said there was going to be a Greatest Showman item, I was very excited. And I didn't like this one so much, but it's fine. But I know a lot of people is going to use it. The next item is one that I like a lot, and it's a pencil set that's inspired by Shakespeare. And each pencil has, let me see if I can do this, has a quote from a Shakespeare play. There. So the first one says, all the world's a stage, which was the title of the box. Then, this violent delights have violent ends. To thine own self be true, and I burn, I pine, I perish. And I really enjoyed it. I love pencils. I don't think there's ever a thing as too many pencils. And I'm going to already put them here. There you go. It looks pretty. And I can't get rid of the box because there's nothing in it. The next item is the pin that says Glorian, and it's related to the book, which I haven't read yet, so I can't explain what it means yet. The book that came in the box, which is the next one I'm going to review in my Owlcrate book and box series, is Where Dreams Descend by Gianella Angelis. This is one of my favorite covers that they ever did because it's printed in the hardcover. There's no dust jacket, and it just looks really, really pretty. So I really enjoyed what they did with this book. What I know about the story is that, of course, it has some sort of circus in it, with all the themes that came in this box. I read the synopsis a few times and honestly I'm a little bit confused by it, which I guess is the point of it, just because this is supposed to be a mysterious and like weird book. I don't know. Probably not a weird book, but just mysterious book. There are magicians disappearing in the story and they don't know what's going on, and we have three main characters. One is this showgirl, she's the main star of the show, and we have the magician, and we have like the owner of this club that they're part of. Subscribe so you can see my review and a better explanation of what this book is about. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're going to stick with me to see my next review of the Owlcrate book. And as soon as I receive the July box, which is already on its way, I'm going to review this book and show you the July box. So remember to like this video and subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know what was your favorite item of both of these boxes. And thank you so much for joining me. Bye!